Everyone, this is Emmy. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this easy halter top. And you can make it any length, short or long, just by adding more rows of crochet. And the first thing you're going to do is make a rectangle like this. And when that's finished, we're going to make a casing at the top to pass our tie cord through. And then we're also going to do the same thing along the bottom. And that's just double crochet with a chain one space. And then we're going to make two ties, one for the neck, and we'll just pass that through that grid. And then one for the bottom is going to be passed through the grid on the bottom. And then you can pull the top once to gather up the top to fit comfortably at the neck. And then in the back, the bottom cord will tie across the back. And for added support, you could cut the straps in the back off of a bra and sew that inside. And it's nice to be worn under a blouse or a blazer. I'm working with worsted weight yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. Start with a slip knot and work a foundation chain that is 1/2 of your chest measurement. For example, if your chest measures 36 inches, then work your foundation chain of 18 or even 20 inches. Now, once you have your foundation chain the correct length, I'm going to work extended single crochet stitches. So I'm going to work into the second stitch from the hook, 1, 2, and I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch, pull up a loop. Normally, to do a single crochet, I would pick up the loop and bring it through the 2. For the extended single crochet, pick up a loop and just bring it through one of the loops. Pick up the yarn, pull it through the 2 loops. So you're going to have the height of a half double crochet, and you're not going to use as much yarn as usual. So work an extended single crochet in every one of the stitches all the way across the row. Into the stitch, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook. Pick up the yarn, pull it through 1 loop. 2 loops on the hook. Pick up the yarn, pull it through the remaining 2 loops. And you're going to work all the way across the row, making extended single crochet. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work all the way across the row. Okay, after working across the row, that's what your stitches will look like. Sample. I worked in the back side of the stitch only because I wanted to have that extra texture, but if you would like a smoother finish, you could work under the 2 loops of the single crochet. For the next row, chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to work only in the back side of the stitch. If you were going to work for a smoother look, work through both loops. So I'm going to go ahead, and that chain 1 will not count as a stitch, so I'm going to start working in that very first stitch, pull up a loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through 1 loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through both. And I'm going to do that all the way across the row. So in through the back loop, pull up a loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through 1, pick up the yarn, pull it through 2. So I'm going to go ahead and work across the row, making extended single crochet stitches in the back side of the stitch. Like that. I'm going to work all the way across the row. Okay, and that's my second row. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 2 more rows of extended single crochet. So again, chain 1 and turn. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so start working in that very first stitch and work an extended single crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my 4 rows. And that is these 4 rows. I'm going to add this band when I'm finished. So there's my 4 rows of extended single crochet. And in my sample, I changed colors to white. If you like, you could just make it all in one solid color. And to do that, I'm simply going to pull my next color into that last stitch and lock it in by taking 1 stitch with both the working yarn and the yarn end. And then I'm going to pull that stitch tight. And I'm going to chain 1. And now I'm working in the full stitch. That chain 1 will take the place of a stitch. So I'm going to single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across the row. Like that, all the way across the row. Okay, I worked all the way across the row. And now I'm going to work 1 more row of single crochet. So chain 1 and turn. That chain 1 will take the place of a stitch. Single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across the row. Like that, all the way across the row. And now I'm going to change back to my main color. And you could fasten off that stitch and weave your yarn end back into the finished work. I'm not going to do that since I'm just doing a demo. So I'm going to pull my yarn up through here, and you would be just attaching your yarn the same as attaching the white. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. That chain 1 will not count as a stitch, so I'm going to start working right in this stitch. And for this row, you can just go ahead and work in the full 2 loops of the stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work a row of extended single crochet all the way across the row. Like that. And so you would go ahead and work 4 more rows of this main color and 2 rows of the single crochet. So like that, and you just go ahead and work 4 rows of the extended single crochet, 2 rows of regular single crochet, and work as many rows as you would like. You can have this long or short. Now when you're all finished here at the top, I'm going to make a row of double crochet, chain 1. And that's going to form a channel to pass these cords through. And to do that, at the end of the row, you'll chain 3. And that will take the place of the first stitch. So you're going to skip this stitch, double crochet in this stitch. So to make a double crochet, yarn around the hook, insert into the stitch, pick up the yarn and pull it through, pick up the yarn, pull it through 2, pick up the yarn, pull it through 2. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain 1. Skip, double crochet. And you're going to repeat that all the way across the row, and you'll form the channel for passing the cord through. And then along the bottom, you'll do the same thing. You'll attach your yarn and work the same channel all the way across the bottom, and that will form the channel for passing the bottom cord through. And to make the tie cord, start with a slip knot and work a foundation chain as long as you need it. I did 120 for the necktie, and then around the body, you'll just need to do a chain that's going to wrap around your body, and you're probably going to need an extra 18 inches for tying it in a bow. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to work a long foundation chain. And when you have the foundation chain the correct length, to make it more durable, I'm going to start working in the second stitch from the hook, and I'm going to single crochet in each of the stitches all the way across. Single crochet. like that. So you'll go ahead and you work your 2 cords and then pass one through the top and one through the bottom. And then you can tie it around the neck and in the back.